And how are my people out there doing? I'm going to give a demonstration on how to do a proper image transfer with a piece of wood. And the image I have selected is this one right here. What you'll need is a piece of cardstock and a common ordinary sheet of paper. For a printer like a Hewlett-Packard 1000 would be absolutely perfect. The next thing you're going to need is you're going to need one of these. I know mine's kind of dirty, but it's basically a plastic easel. And most importantly, you are going to need some Elmer's glue. It has to be the cheap stuff. Okay, let's start. I mean, you're going to need a lot of it. You're going to need to fill almost this middle thing right here. Okay, so here we go. And we're having technical difficulties. No. Okay, there we go. A little bit of a nozzle clog. There we go. A whole bunch of it. Could take me several. That should be enough. Okay. The next step that you're going to do is you're going to take this and a brush, a pretty good sized one. You're going to begin to smear it all over this piece of cardstock right here, because you're going to end up feeding that through your printer. Make absolutely certain that it dries or you're going to ruin your printer, believe me. That's only 30 bucks for a Hewlett-Packard. Oh, and by the way, it has to be an inkjet printer. So here we go. And you smear it on there very, very generously. Matter of fact, you got to get it all over here, just like this. Get that junk out of the way. Some more. Yeah, about like that. Really, really thick. A whole bunch of it. Just like this. I apologize for my limited camera ability at the current moment. But you get it just like this. Get it on there really, really nice and really, really thick. As a matter of fact, I may need to put even more. Just like this. Okay, we got to get the bottom half too. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and forget about this. I am just going to put this down right here, aim my camera down at it so y'all can see probably a more appropriate way of doing this. Anywho, a whole lot of this. Come on, baby. I know you can do it. We're just gonna go ahead and just do it like this. Get a whole bunch of this. There we go. Now, we're going to even this out and just keep on spreading it out. Make no lumps. This could take quite a while, but this is for helping people such as myself with really bad arthritic hands. I have no trouble with the painting of a picture, but I have really, really bad problems with the drawing part. It's not that I'm an unskilled artist or anything, it's just that it is a problem that has arisen. I've had numerous injuries to my hand, and this is a little something that helps me to do a figure whenever my hands are all shaky. Okay? I mean, the pain in my hands is so bad sometimes it wakes me up at night. So this is what I have found to do good image transferring. and it's good for me because it's in a particular style that I like to do. So here we go. Get rid of all the lumps. Don't worry about ruining one of these things. They're only like $2 or $3. You can get the card stock for like $5 for 100 of them. And this right here is essentially the first step. Okay, so I'll stop the camera now and do this as one whole big video. Alright, this is the second part of my video, and you can see the image of Sonic. But now we've got another image of Sonic. This is the card. This is the piece of card stock that got the glue on it and got printed out. As you notice, I flipped it around. The reason for doing so is because we're going to take this wood round right here, and we are going to put some Mod Podge in a very thick layer on the on the face of it. We're going to take this image right here and mash it down on the piece of wood. Okay, I'm going to change the image camera angle very quickly. I hate this tripod. It's not a very good one. Anyways, you'll need a very big brush about like this, and you'll need to make sure that you can actually fit the image onto the piece of wood. Opening the Mod Podge. You're going to need a lot of this stuff, just like the Elmer's glue. Now remember, you got to take him and put him down like that. Some people for some reason forget that step. It's very important. But you take this Mod Podge. It's kind of an expensive glue and it's been around forever, but anyways, you begin to smear it on there in a very, very thick layer. Once again, really the idea is to get the image trapped in between the Elmer's glue and the Mod Podge, and the Elmer's glue washes away and the Mod Podge doesn't. Now, if you've been a kid long enough, you know that Silly Putty does the same thing whenever you take it and push it into a comic. Well, this is kind of the same concept right here. Okay? And boy, you've really got to layer this stuff on really, really thick. Okay? Matter of fact, I'm going to have to move it back here to keep me from knocking my camera over. Now, I suppose that didn't have anything to do with me putting Mod Podge on. Anyways, but you got to layer this stuff on really, 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 really thick. It'll take a little while. Be sure not to make a mess. Get it all over the place. You have my permission to make a mess. Feel a little bit like Curly the Three Stooges here. Never mind the background noise. That's my mom and her idiot dog Delilah. Anywho, you just keep on at it for a little while, and one of the stranger steps is going to be ready to take place. You got to get a rolling pin and mash the image down as hard as you can for about, I'd say about a good 5 or 6 minutes. I won't video that, but I'll show you exactly what kind of pressure you've got to put on it. Okay. You just got to cover the entire thing. And as you can imagine, this takes quite a while. Get it on there real thick. Get her done like Larry the Cable Guy. You got to get her done real, real thick. Okay. I've tried this a couple of times, and yeah, you definitely have to get the glue step correct, or it's going to mess everything up and you're just going to be wasting your time, which is no fun. You got to almost paint this thing white with Mod Podge. Okay, about like that. Okay. I'm carefully putting the brush away. Didn't have the foresight to think of any place to put it. Okay, now you put your cap on your Mod Podge. Very, very simple. Get it out of the way. This stuff is no fun to clean up. Now, you take the image and you very, very carefully place it where you want it. Okay. And you begin to slowly push it down in there. Okay. Just very, very carefully. You don't want it bent. You don't want it warped. You just kind of keep at it like this. And there we go. We're getting this done. It is a bit of a time-consuming process, but the results have always turned out fine for me. And you just got to keep on pressing it. Now, rolling pin time. Very, very gently you push on it until it becomes flat. And you just keep on and keep on. Begin to exert more and more and more pressure against it until it becomes flat into the chunk of wood. You get these wood rounds for about $5 or $6 at Walmart, or I think they used to sell them there. And you just keep on mashing it in, and you get harder and heavier with it. You got to keep on doing this for about a good 5-10 minutes. Just keep on mashing away. Wonder where that red stuff's coming from. Anyways, you just keep at it. To help me speed this up, I'm going to use a heat lamp. Well, it's not actually a heat lamp, but it gets pretty hot, and I hope it doesn't blind the camera. And we're going to keep on, and on, and on, and on. Keep mashing it down, and mashing it down, and mashing it down. You got to really put some force into this. You just got to keep at it. You got to keep doing this until it's dry enough that it does not move very easily. And that'll be it for now. I'll show you the next step in my next teaching. Thank you. And this is the third and most peculiar step. You got to spray this thing down with some water. Let it soak in for just a little bit. You begin to slowly but surely rub away the cardstock. This is a very tedious process, but you just begin to slowly but surely push it aside. Let it soak into it. And as you can see, it's coming apart already. I'm going to get some more water added to this. Okay. Let it soak in for just a little bit. It's already starting to peel off in certain spots. And you slowly but surely rub it off. I already got a little bit of it right there. And eventually you will see your image underneath all of this. This is a time-consuming process, but it's well worth the effort if you want accuracy and to be very accurate with what you're doing. After a short while, you'll begin to see things beginning to roll upwards. Okay, there goes some of it right there. And it will eventually leave your image onto the piece of wood underneath there. Well, there we go. Maybe I should have done that first of all. We'll just peel this thing back as far as we can. Alright, there we go. And of course it may not get all of it perfect, but you can correct it very easily. And there we have Sonic's face beginning to come through. You can see part of his ear. There goes his nose. Whoops, hit the camera by accident. You can also sand it down to achieve the same result, but you got to be a bit more careful. And with this method, you have to be careful not to rub too hard or it'll begin to smear the ink. Okay, we're just going to peel away very, very slowly but surely. Alright, there we go. Got a whole lot of it done right there, as a matter of fact. Just grab it right here and just peel all that off right there. There we go. And I'll give it another spray. Hope I didn't get any on my... Okay, nothing on my camera. Alright, there we go. And it peeled right off of there. And you just continue to rub away at it until it all comes off. This is a time-consuming process. Could take quite a while. I mean, I've done projects like this that have taken up to an hour in order to rub this stuff off completely. But that's basically how you do it. Okay, and I'll show you the end result in my next teaching. And the results are in. You can see that it is a near perfect Sonic the Hedgehog in comparison to this one right here. Well, it's slightly bigger, and it's not exactly perfect. I messed up on the ear just a little bit, but I can easily carve that out with an embossing needle. It is a near exact replication, and now all I have to do is use the embossing needle and carve out all the lines and then begin to paint. So that's the final step as far as the unusual techniques of art are concerned, as far as a wood image transfer. Okay, so this will be it for now. And this is the next step, and then after this all you have to do is just simply paint it. You take this tool called an embossing needle, and you take this, I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but it's a pink X-Acto knife. Dear God, I wish I could have found another color. And you simply go over the lines with the X-Acto knife, just like this. Let me get that sharp point. And the objective is to dig out all of the black, just simply carving along there very, very slowly and very surely. And you basically dig out all of the black lines. And then after that you go over it with an embossing needle. Some people call this a different name. They call it a wood etching needle. You can find it at just about any hobby store. And you begin to carve in and push aside all the darkness, all the black color, and you essentially dig it out. Okay? That ought to do for now. And this is the final step in my special process. You got to take this stuff, black watercolor right here. I don't think the camera is going to catch it very good. But anyway, you take a container like this right here. Shot glass will do just fine for this. Go ahead and get you a little bit in there. Okay. Should probably remember to go ahead and stick the lid back on there, because boy, this stuff makes a mess. And just about any paintbrush will do, one that sops up something pretty good. And you'll notice I've got this sanding glove. I'll demonstrate that. You get a little bit of it right there on there, and you go over the lines as accurately as you can, just little bit by little bit. And the idea is to get this stuff to sink into the cracks. Should probably put a little bit more black watercolor. Even now you can see how the lines are beginning to pop out as I desire. I'm going to shake this up a little bit better. That way we get a more water and more color mix. Oh boy, does this stuff ever stink. $12 for a pop of this stuff. Ugh. Whew, man, I can't wait to put the lid back on it. And did I mention that it's also very messy? Anywho, you get it and you mix it up there real good. Now, there we go. There we go. You go right along these lines right here. And you just, after that, you just let it dry. Okay. Demonstrate this real good. This could take me just a little while to get this all done. Go over the lines, just like that. Make sure that they're dark. The idea is to get it to where it's so dark that you can actually see where the line begins and where the line ends. And it's super effective at getting that done. You just got to make sure to get it all into those corners. What in the world is this? Cat hair. Get a little bit more. I'll pull it like this. Go over it one more time. And then after that, we're going to sand it very, very gently. Okay? And I mean, it's going to cause the lines to pop out really, really good. Matter of fact, you can see it pretty good right now. And in certain cases, you may actually have to go over it with a very, very thin, fine paintbrush in order to get it done really, really well. That'll be a step that I more than likely will take. But you just keep on going over the lines. Little here, little there. Spread that out real, real thin. Probably get a little bit more right there, and that area right. Ooh. Boy, it just bubbled out right there. There's so many lines right there, you might as well not even bother trying to just go over one. And you could actually think of this as a tattoo on wood. Matter of fact, I think that's just about the perfect way to describe it. Boy, them lines are really coming out good now. You may want to do this several times over. Here we go, there we go. Is my camera actually getting all this? Yes, yes, okay. Idiot dogs out there barking. Arr, arr. Drives me nutty. piece of wood coming out of his mouth doesn't look too attractive. Really wish those stupid dogs would shut up. This will also allow you to see your imperfections that you have as well, and sometimes it'll even reveal the imperfections in the particular wood round that you're trying to work with. And we're almost done here. I'll probably go over it a couple more times, and then I'll sand it and show you exactly just how effective a lot of this can be. Any little imperfections, yeah. And as you can see, the lines are turning out very wonderfully in this case. Now you can see exactly where your paintbrush needs to go because of these tiny little cuts that I've made. Oh God, if that stuff ever stink. I actually made the mistake of just going ahead and taking a tube of watercolor and just filling it up with water and saving it for a later time. It doesn't really actually affect it all that bad, but it does make it to where it stinks rather nasty. It smells like rotted eggs. I'm gonna have to strangle that dog. Kidding, just kidding. I'm not gonna do anything like that. But they will have to come in before I start painting. And even though it looks rather hideous right now, whenever I get done painting it, it'll be nearly a mirror image of what you see right here. Okay? And that's it. Okay? Enjoy yourself.